So, we've got a number one deluxe meal. Is there anything else I can get you?
Yeah, I'd also like a good night's sleep.
Excuse me, sir?
You know, the I didn't struggle all night with my uncomfortable CPAP mask, or something like the my wife didn't kick me out to sleep on the couch because of my constant tossing and turning.
Sir, we don't have anything like that here. I think what you're looking for is Inspire. It's an implant that works inside your body to treat sleep apnea without a CPAP. That way you can breathe normally and rest more soundly.
Come on!
Oh, he sounds hangry. Inspire is the only FDA-approved sleep apnea treatment of its kind. It's helping tens of thousands of people finally get restful sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you, and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Sports Daily on KFH. Glad to be here with you. Luke Barnwell, Tommy, as we jump back in. He got the big opportunity. 10 years at Sunrise. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I don't think he's been the head coach for 10 years, but he's been there for a long time. They have reached the national spotlight. He was the coach of the year twice. All of the great players that has come through. So, 8 years leading Sunrise, 178 and 28. That's just remarkable. They've been the top-ranked team in the country several times. They play on national TV every year. Just an unreal run at Sunrise. And it was a matter of time. And, we'd hoped that maybe Wichita State could get him over like they did with Lindstedt back in the day. But when Texas Tech comes to call, you just wondered, what's the opportunity going to be? Because you don't think you'd make the jump right to head coach. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that was the best way to go to a small school or whatever. I think this is the path. Big-time program, big-time assistant job. I don't think it will be long. Tommy, I would say in 5 years. Here's my prediction for Luke Barnwell. Within 5 years, he will be the head coach at a major institution, like at a conference the level of the American. I think it will be that quick, and I think it will be that big a jump for him now as a college coach.
I know that whatever program brought on Luke Barnwell, they were going to have – that's just an incredible hire, right? I'm surprised that there wasn't another program that made a run at him. And maybe there were. Maybe there were other programs
I think that there were.
That had made runs at him before. Something about joining Grant McCaslin's staff at Texas Tech, had to have been appealing for Luke Barnwell. But regardless, that's a great hire by Grant McCaslin. Luke Barnwell is incredible. And the fact that he's won Naismith Coach of the Year, I think on 2 occasions, back-to-back years, developed a ton of incredible talent like Grady Dick and Ochai Abaji and, other players. He's been a part of, helping out players like Buddy Hield over the years. And just every player that's gone through Sunrise over the last several seasons, he's had a major role in developing them and getting them ready for major college basketball and ultimately the NBA. I think that's the appeal of Luke Barnwell. For Grant McCaslin to bring him on staff, that he can help develop these players in college and then with the goal to hopefully get them to the NBA. So congratulations to Luke Barnwell. I'm not gonna bet against your prediction that within 5 years he'll be a head coach, because that wouldn't surprise me one bit. It wouldn't surprise me if within 5 years he's a head coach at a major D1 university. He's that good of a coach, and I know that he's going to be severely missed at Sunrise, but this is a great opportunity for him.
And it's not just I don't say that just as a wild and crazy guess. It was when Mark Potter came into the studio, and I don't even know what brought it up, who was his coach at Newman, was that's the smartest basketball mind I've ever seen when he was a player for him. The way he just saw the game, could draw it up. I mean, that comes from a track record here now, and an ethical level. Like McCasland clearly had a goal here. McCasland, who comes from the Scott Drew tree, where you've seen Jerome Tang, and we've heard from Paul Mills. Like there's a very clearly defined emphasis put on character in those things, and so it's a great fit. It makes a ton of sense. Like I totally get this, but it's just because his basketball acumen, from what I've been told, is as good as anybody's ever seen, and that stuff will translate. And his the thing that will make him the most attractive is how he's been able to bring in some of the best players in the country. I mean, the Sunrise rosters have been absurd the last 3 or 4 years. Like he's been able to get all of those guys to come in there. In the post, Buddy Hield era, where you had Buddy Hield sort of as a standout for a long time, and then Barnwell comes in and just like loads them up every year with lottery picks in the NBA, basically, or first-round picks. It's crazy, and colleges know that. They're going to know that, and he'll quickly earn his chops as an assistant. He's going to have, I'm sure, a learning curve here that I would imagine he'll be able to get through quickly. Something else that's cool about that Tech staff, Tommy, Matt Brower's on there. So he came, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he came over with McCasland from North Texas. We had told that story when North Texas, I don't even, was it last year before probably? It was whenever it was when they played Wichita State, because he played for the Shockers before my time, so I didn't know who he was. But that's another cool tie to this area, to Tech, right, for people around here. They'll be loaded up with that bench of people we recognize there. So good for Barnwell, and good for Texas Tech, by the way, too, because if his recruiting does translate, that just makes this league that much better. They got the coach I think most people wanted in the offseason, right? They were able to get the one I would imagine a lot of schools were clamoring for. He, remember, started a little bit of a domino effect there. And then they get this kind of assistant if they can land some of these players. I think as all the dust has settled on the mess that has been, and an unfortunate and, a mess that just sucks for those fans when you had Beard and that situation and then Mark Adams and that situation. It's like, come on, we've got all this momentum and we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. I don't think we're going to have any of those types of problems with this group, and hopefully they succeed there. I root for them to succeed because I think it's a really cool basketball program.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the fact that they've got, these really, really top basketball minds on the staff. And that's really been, I think, the key for Grant McCasland at Texas Tech. I mean, think about the coaches that have coached in that program over the last couple of years, right? You had Mark Adams. That didn't really work. But you had a guy with a ton of experience. That didn't really work. Chris Beard was there for a few years. There was success there. Don't get me wrong. He's a big name coach. I feel like Texas Tech is kind of going a different direction now, where they want to fill that staff with, younger basketball, high IQ guys. Like, of course, Grant McCasland is the head coach. And now you've got Luke Barnwell on the staff and Matt Brower's on the staff and some guys that are, ready to rock and roll. I like this move. I like the new regime at Texas Tech a lot. It's significantly different than what the Red Raiders had before. And so I think it's the right opportunity for Luke Barnwell.
Not that Beards was Beards was not expected. Like, he didn't have some track record behaviorally, nor did Mark Adams, quite frankly. Like, those were, Beard at the time, and still is by many considered very high character. I mean, whatever happened in that situation, and it's a mess, and, they've had charges. I don't know. But before that, generally speaking, he was also in this mold. And, Mark Adams didn't have that I know of any sort of. So that's what I mean about, like, unfortunate. It's one thing when you hire Bobby Knight and you find yourself in trouble because he loses his temper. You kind of knew that was coming, right?
Right.
Like, Tech, who has developed this great program and put these great facilities in and all of this stuff, it just, like, these things keep happening with their staff. So I'm glad for this reset. I think it's a good group. I'm glad for Barnwell. Again, 5 years. Mark it down. July 3rd, Jad. 5 years, he'll be the head coach of a what do we call the, like what do we do? Is it group of five? I don't know, because I don't know if it'll be like a power five, which is possible, but probably not that likely. But it'll be, a school in the, at the line of like
a D1 level.
State.
A D1 level.
Well, but bigger than D1. Like, I don't think he's going to end up at, like Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I don't think that's what he's taking, right? I think it'll be it's not mid-major anymore, so whatever it's called, right? Like whatever, like a league like the American or the Mountain West, or like a big-time league that may not quite be Power 5 yet, but don't count that out either, because, again, from what I'm always told about him, it's just very apparent very quickly how great a basketball mind he has and is. So congratulations to Luke Barnwell. Sunrise will be just fine, I'm certain, and we'll follow Barnwell now. We'll follow that career. I'm very, very curious about it. 869-1240 is the number to call if you want to get in touch with the program. Hey, a reminder, Odyssey's teaming with the city of Wichita, the Wichita Parks Foundation, Riverfront Stadium, and the Wichita Wind Surge to bring you Red, White, and Boom. July 4th at Riverfront Stadium. Entry is free. Gates open at 6. Riverfront's concessions will be open, plus enjoy the food trucks on the Hyatt lawn. Watch the Surge play in Tulsa on the Jumbotron, and then you can stay for those fireworks. So, again, that's coming up tomorrow. IHOP hotline is open, 869-1240. We'll take a peek at the rest of the NBA free agency / latest. Austin Reeves takes a deal that most people think he could have made a lot more money. So that's a curious move. Dame Lillard now looks like he'll finally be out. So we'll take a look at all that. We'll get you ready. Royals fans, we're holding it for hour number 2, but we definitely want to talk about, Salvador Perez, the All-Star, the trade deadline. They make their first move. It's all coming. Sports Daily, Albrecht and Castor. We'll be right back.